You are watching the ultimate collection of flashes in the pan, and we're up to the number 28 one-hit wonder video of all time. A man who appeared only once on the U.S. charts, but he made it count. Say hello to Numan, Gary Numan.
The makeup was heavy, the imagery spacey, and the synthesizers were everywhere. It was the 80s, and Gary Numan had his trademark hit, Cars.
Gary Numan's Cars is one of the great songs of all time. At the time, it played like a novelty song because we weren't really into that whole electro thing. But you know, the guys who make techno singles now, they look back on that and think, oh wow, I grew up listening to, you know, Gary Numan and Kraftwerk. I mean, that's just a great song.
In 1979, it took just 4 weeks for 21-year-old Gary Numan to go from virtual unknown to pop sensation in the UK. And it wasn't long before Cars, the number 28 song in the countdown, was cruising up the US charts.
You see, it was a lot of success in a very, very short space of time to somebody that's very young and ill-equipped to deal with it. Every day you were doing things you had never done before, and they were all a big deal. You know, one of the first TV shows I ever did in America was Saturday Night Live. 50 million people.
Here in my car, I know I've started to think about leaving tonight. Allow nothing seems right in Cars.
About 3 months before that, the biggest show I'd ever done had been in a pub in London with 53 people in the audience.
Cars peaked at number 9 on the Billboard charts in the US, and with that success came plenty of excess.
When I bought myself an aeroplane and a nice car and a house, I bought a studio. Thought that would be a good idea. But they really were a very, very small amount of the money that was spent on touring. I used to have massive light shows, huge, great things, and I was dropping money left, right, and centre. But I thought that was the way to do it.
Here in my car, I know I've started to think about leaving tonight. Allow nothing seems right in Cars.
Shortly after the success of Cars, Gary Numan's career went into a tailspin along with his finances. Luckily, he found another vehicle for his talents.
When the career was going very badly through the 80s, and where I was taking a real ego bashing in the music business, on the flying side it was picking up, and it did balance me. And I honestly think that without that balance, it would have made the decline of the music career very much more difficult to take, and quite possibly I wouldn't have actually been able to keep on.
Gary Numan may have had only one big hit, but his music is still inspiring artists today.
A lot of people started to name-check me as being an influence. You know, cool people, you know, Marilyn Manson and Snoop Dogg. It was on MTV in England the other day saying something really kind about me, you know, which is amazing. Wouldn't have expected that. So for me, it's been not only very, very flattering and something to be very proud of, but as a songwriter, it's the ultimate recognition.
The ultimate compliment was paid when Fear Factory recently remade the classic song.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors, and it's the only way I live in Cars.
Gary Numan is probably the only band on the countdown who actually inspired a cover band. That's right, there's a cover band in England that do all covers of Gary Numan tunes.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock up my doors, it's the only way I live in Cars.